Hi everybody, and this is my second live today. Today's a good sunny day, and it was a good day to go live. I've been sick with COVID for the last 2 weeks, and I'm finally feeling better, so I thought I'd get on the phone and start talking to people rather than posting. About me, if you haven't looked at my page, and I'm checkmarked, I'm a chemical engineer, retired now. I spent about 15 years working in wastewater, environmental projects, and I even designed some pharmaceutical plants as a process engineer before I decided to change careers and become a technical writer. And then I published my own software and actually worked with hundreds of municipalities with software that I designed and sold it to them in my own business. So that's my background. Now I'm retired, and what I do now is I sell these bags. I hand make bags. The hand making of bags is because of this eye, which had an issue with it. You can see it's still not 100%. And that was my therapy. So I've been making handbags to help heal this eye. You can see it's not 100% yet. So that's my background. So if I give you some technical information as an engineer with a master's degree, and someone who has been also in software for 15 years, pretty much know a little bit about technology, okay? So what I do now is to help out. I do research using AI. I use AI a lot because I like computers and software and all that. And I use it to help me research and create articles that have actual references. So you don't see me publishing a lot of memes with no references because those are worthless. I publish whole articles. Sometimes you'll see them posted in full length on Facebook. Sometimes you'll see a link to LinkedIn where I keep a lot of them. One of the things I see when I go to TikTok has a lot of nice videos, but sometimes they have these other videos. And I don't want people who may not be technical to be misled by some of these conspiracy theory videos, okay? So what I'm talking about is videos that say that HARPA is somehow churning up the storm that's going to hit Florida. I mean, I don't know where they get this insanity, but there's no such thing. Okay, for a device to churn up a storm like Milton or Helene, the amount of energy that it would need to put out is insane, okay? There have been, and I would say that I have researched, there have been efforts by the military to control the weather, and they have experimented with dry ice in 1947, and they experimented in the 80s with silver iodide and other chemicals to try to precipitate, if they sprinkle the dust above the cloud, as the dust comes down, it will actually precipitate rain. And they use it to kind of bring rain to areas that don't have rain. This same technology is being used in Saudi Arabia regularly so that they collect water for their reservoirs. When they see a cloud, they sprinkle it and they get rain. And if they sprinkle it just over the right spot, and if it pours the rain in the right spot, the rain won't go into the ocean, but it'll go into the reservoir. So it's a tricky process, you know. Is it right? I don't know. I think that if you sprinkle all the clouds with magic dust, eventually you'll have a mess. But that's why they basically have banned weather engineering in Mexico recently. All right. Are these processes the kind of thing that could possibly change the speed or the direction of a storm? No. The 1947 experiment called Cirrus, okay, that was done with 80 pounds of dry ice, which they took on one of those rinky-dink World War II planes, and they went into the storm at great risk to themselves, and they sprinkled chopped up dry ice into a storm. This storm went in the direction of Appalachia and did cause a lot of damage in 1947. But there's no evidence that 80 pounds of dry ice would actually do anything to a storm of the magnitude of Helena or anything else. And then there are now stories that somehow Alexa is saying that they put up 180 pounds of dry ice. Do you realize how little energy that holds? Compared to the energy of a storm, that's like a AA battery inside a car. Like, what is that going to do for the car? Nothing. Okay. So the lack of training that people get in school about science, mathematics, physics, energy, all of these courses that I took in engineering should have been taught in high school instead of all the garbage courses that they're teaching children now. And I find that I have to teach my grandchildren because the science is not enough. Okay, they don't teach enough science. And so people are fooled by things that make absolutely no technical sense, and they can't do the math because they weren't taught how to do it. So all I can offer is there's no such thing as HARPA churning up a storm. There isn't enough energy in any of their weather monitoring stations. They're weather monitoring. They're not there to churn up the storm, okay? And there's no such thing as dry ice changing the course of a storm, even though it may seem like that they don't have enough data. It didn't do it. You're just sprinkling some salt on a giant pot of boiling water. Nothing is going to happen. Okay, so it's just beyond stupidity what they post. In that the fact that somehow they're blacking out people saying that FEMA, by the way, in my previous video, I kept saying OSHA. That was code for FEMA, okay? That somehow FEMA is claiming that everybody in the world, everybody is lying on the internet that they have stopped certain trucks from delivering. Everybody that says that is lying. Only FEMA is telling the truth, and they're so upset about these lies. It's beyond, what can I say? I mean, if you actually had work that you have done, why don't you show me a picture of the work you did in the happy customers that you have served instead of calling everybody else a liar, okay? Stick to doing your job and stop worrying about what the internet is saying, okay? That's what my message to FEMA. Shut up, okay? People will say what they will say. But the fact that they don't ban these videos about HARPA, about mixing up the storm, and they're so ludicrous, they make me laugh, and about the dry ice, and then, of course, the ones about how the cell towers, 5G, are causing the storm, okay? Somehow they're causing the storm. I don't know. And, of course, they don't do anything about the people claiming the earth is flat and that there's a huge dome over the earth, or that there is a wall of ice surrounding the earth, and when you reach it, you're going to hit this wall of ice, okay? Those videos never get censored. Why are they not censored? Think about it. The stupider people are, the less scientific information they have to work with, and the less intelligence or education they have, the easier they are to control. So those videos are not banned because someone doesn't want to ban them. They want you to be stupid, okay? So instead of looking at those videos, I would recommend that people learn how to use tools like AI, or don't use Google. There's plenty of other different search engines out there, and start researching. Sometimes you can find the truth in the place least expected, which is the government documents. So I went right to TVA, which is the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is owned by the federal government, and they themselves told me they opened up all the gates for the floodgates during the storm. I didn't have to do a conspiracy theory. They themselves mention it. It's just that nobody reads it, but it is what it is, okay? So I would suggest that people don't look at those videos showing you false information from people that put out videos with no references, no links, no information, or if they have a link, it's a link to another insane website that has no information. And start doing some real research. Go to your libraries. Forget the internet. You can go to the library and get information free, and there's usually no one there, okay? You can also access research, academic research, and you can find books, old books, that would tell you all about the TVA and everything else. So go there and don't listen to these memes with all this misinformation, insanity that I see, that I can't believe are not getting censored. And yet people telling you, oh, FEMA was not here and they actually stopped my truck. Oh no, those people are lying. Okay, maybe they're not lying. Maybe there was somebody claiming to be FEMA trying to steal their truck. This happened before. If you do the research, you find out there were many arrests of people pirating trucks claiming to be FEMA. This happened in Maui. This happened in previous situations. This is an ongoing problem. So what I would say is be careful what you read on the internet. Go to the library, read some books. If you're going to research, actually AI right now has an app that will research academic books. It's free. You can go look at it and you can ask it questions. That would be ChatGPT. They have actual web browsing and they have actual academic research chats that are free. You don't need to have memberships to get to these academic. There's many ways to get information out there. Just learn how to use it and take some courses. Take some courses. If you're confused about these things, take courses. Make sure your children take more math, science, and physics than gender stuff and all this other nonsense that is being taught in school. The other thing I want to point out is that I am a chemical engineer that went to school in 1971. I was the only woman in the school. Everybody else, males. When I got my first job as a chemical engineer, I was the only woman in the department. Okay? So I don't need somebody like Kamala Harris, who doesn't have a technical degree, she's a lawyer, to tell me that I need to vote for her because she's a woman. All right? Apparently, the Democrats don't think there are women. They can't describe what a woman is, and they think that that there are no genders. So why should I vote for Kamala? It doesn't matter to me. I mean, she's definitely not a woman. She's a gender of many that there are. So I don't know what gender she really is. She didn't tell me. So I have no intentions of voting for Kamala because she's a woman and because she's a pioneer. I don't think so. I have already been a pioneer woman in engineering. And, you know, if I would vote for a woman, it would have to be because she has the qualifications to be president and not because she's a woman. That is a stupid way to vote for a candidate. Oh, my goodness. I scratched my way into engineering. I didn't have any help from anybody. I was an immigrant. I became a citizen. I worked very hard to become a citizen. I had to study. I had to take a test. I had to go and become a citizen. I later earned my way to get scholarships to become an engineer. And everything I got by studying and working hard. So I do not need to I do not need anybody tell me who I need to vote for. I know who I'm going to vote for. And if you're going to vote for somebody, it's none of anybody's business who you vote for. You vote for whoever you think is going to do the most for you, okay? And so all this nonsense that she's a woman pioneer, hello? I was a woman pioneer. I know, was she born in 1971? I don't think so. So I think I'm done. But that would be my qualifications for some of the articles you read. The fact that I have a degree, several degrees, a couple in engineering and one in computer science. So, and I am retired. So if you see a lot of articles with a lot of research and stuff, I write them to educate because I really think there's a lot of bad information on the internet from people that, I don't know if they mean well, but they really don't have a clue about science. And I'm sorry that our educational system is in such bad shape. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.